قال الله لا يهوى Shemir Shaiba Jumukakudash. The Lord us to the apostles and elders of great men stone that rule and teach well, peace and salutation to the brothers on the four corners of this earth, pushing this word in truth, also in sincerity, but I'm not fact. Here with another show video. No, as per usual, I mean, there's an impromptu, see this in the group chat. Say, I like the headline. The headline looking like, I mean, prophecies. The signs keep showing, the signs that keep showing. The CBTT panel, private sector key to digital economy. It says Peter Christopher, senior multimedia reporter, Peter Christopher, whatever. It says the private sector is being encouraged to play a role in the development of TNT's digital economy. Yeah, digital economy equals what? Digital society. Type in, oh gosh, there's no cloud shops anymore. What is it? Think. It's Larry Fink, I believe, who's the head of the WEF, World Economic Forum. He basically tells if it's not a part of it, you'll die. Right? This was a common view shared during a hybrid panel discussion titled The Digital Economy, Writing the Analog Economy to Benefits, hosted by the Central Bank to commence the bank's annual research review seminar. Deputy Governor of the Central Bank, Dorian Noel, noted that as the CBTT acknowledged the growing global trend toward a cashless society, see, so it's a digital economy, but cashless society. Digital economy, digital society, same thing. It was necessary to ensure the wider public was not disenfranchised by such a shift. In 2025, the value of global e-commerce is projected to reach US 4.8 trillion, and it is expected to surpass US 151 trillion by 2034. To put this in context, the value of the e-commerce transaction currently surpasses the GDP of major emerging markets such as Brazil and India. Electronic transactions have become more prominent domestically, amplified by the pandemic-induced restrictions globally. Noel said. See, pandemic-induced restrictions. So, what he's saying is, due to the pandemic, well, I thought it was something with money because remember the so-called virus was a contact, it was spread on contact more or less. So they had a more or less contactless society for a point. They're trying to minimize contact, you know. You don't have to push in your pin no more, you just tap the screen with the chip on the card, right? No, you don't have to hand nobody money, just swipe whatever way you scan your phone or whatever. Basically, that's the era we're moving into. 15 minutes to tea, so on and so forth, right? Say the central bank asked the attendees at this seminar, how does the country address the issue of digital economy? Careful considerations must be given to the best approach to address citizens who may be potentially compromised by the development of the digital economy, such as the elderly and those from less privileged socio-economic backgrounds. He also said concerns about cybersecurity needed to be addressed. Several major local companies have been subject to cyber attacks in recent years, such as TSTT and Massy Stores. He asked, how do we ensure our cyber resiliency on an ongoing basis? Paramount to public confidence in our ability to defend against cyber attacks and digital viruses, which not only threaten the digital infrastructure and our personal data, but also the e-commerce, economic stability. However, Denise White, Deputy National Chief Digital Officer at the Ministry of Public Administration and Artificial Intelligence. I didn't even know we had a fucking Ministry of what? Artificial Intelligence. Oh, nice for Public Administration and Artificial Intelligence. Nigga, I never even heard about that shit. I never left our country and I didn't even know about that. Look at that. Wow. Said implementing digital economy in Trinidad and Tobago would not be as simple as copying a model from a European country, as she noted. TNT's unique business structure. White said, "We are a nation of small businesses, so we cannot use the same types of measurements that are needed globally to assess what is going on. But with that being said, how do we scale up our global businesses? And it can't be business as usual. Even sitting within the government, we look at some possible policy levers that we have to pull to be able to stimulate and crank that engine." She said the government cannot do it alone, but needs to be able to partner with the private sector, which has the experience and has made better measurements in terms of return on investment. White pointed out that digital identification systems originated in the European banking system. Yeah, we know, not the government. It's one that has been accepted and it came out of the private sector. So again, let's collaborate to make that happen, she said. White noted that the other pillar that needs to be looked at is the idea of inclusion. So MSMEs and SMEs, these are the guys who are the main engine of what they're doing. And if we want to stimulate activity, then we need to be looking at the lower levels in terms of business size, White said. Entrepreneur and founder of Public Good Studio, Aggie Archer, okay, explained there were several challenges faced by small businesses in terms of scaling digital business, such as business understanding, public sector support, and financial infrastructure. Given these challenges at this point, there is a need for small businesses to focus on the nuts and bolts of business operations before embracing. What the hell went on there? Okay, great. Slack about that. For embracing the technology, Slacker, he also stressed that politics were required for the transition to. Okay, alright, let's put that on silent. Slacker, I thought I did. Alright, last line in the last verse, he also stressed that politics were required for the transition to occur. So the government would have to initiate a digital society, digital banking, in order for the digital economy, Slacker. Right? And we know that is what there means to control. Yeah, that is the means to control. Where are you going with this? Yeah, shit. No, no, Joel. Slack your wrong thoughts. On Job 9 and 24. Alright. It says, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?" The point in this verse is the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Right? We know what they're trying to accomplish is basically basic in a nutshell. World domination is what they're trying to do here. Right? This article is just another sign of the time that showing me what time mean exactly. You know? Um let's get Revelation 12 and 12. Because even though he say, I may go pose a challenge and we can't do it at this moment, because first the government has to think. Right? The government just cancel fucking Independence Day for their prayer. At the location where they was keeping the big prayer or whatever, nobody from this government, the government that in power right now, nobody, not the prime minister, nor any other party member showed up. Right? So that just goes to show the government will do this. Police will do what they want. Nevertheless, all governments in the past did what they want. So they want to make it sound like I'm coming down on anybody in particular. Today is all do what they want, or in other words, is all do what the elite want. Right? Revelation 12 and 12, it says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time." Yeah, he know he rulership. Well, I won't say rulership, there is something that coming, right? That he had to pay for. Something or someone, rather. Right? That time is coming where his kingdom will be on his last. And regardless of what he do, regardless of what he trying to prepare right now for that switch up the system, switch up the money, you know, he's trying to put safety measures in place as if that would help him, right? Because they truly know and they truly grasp the power of Yahushai, right? Regardless of what they did. Why do you think they're trying to be like Musa? Hmm? If he wasn't who he was, why would they try to be like him? But little do they know, the kingdom will, well, not little, they actually know. The kingdom is crumbling economically, socially. The people that live today is nothing like the people who was the same age 15 years ago. So like let me say, for instance, the 20 the 20 to 30 year olds 15 years ago is a different, completely different mindset of people than the ones today, right? They might not have been as tech savvy, or they might not rely, that is what I would use, they would not rely on technology so much, but this day and age, everything is at the touch of a fucking finger. Push a button, touch a screen, right? Be to get what desensitized to not using cash. So you could do bank transfers now. Now we have something called N cash in the country. I believe it's like a play on Apple Pay. I could be wrong. I never use it, but I believe I understand how it works. You basically scan your phone. So no cash, no card, scan your phone. Look at fucking, right? So I believe that's how Apple Pay does work as well. You just scan your phone and you pay the bill or whatever the case may be. And this is the road that they are going now. Because they know they have a short time. In the book of Samuel, the inward thought is that the houses will go on forever. Right? And that is exactly what they're trying to secure. Um, let me see if I can get it. The in what thought? Oh, 49 and verse 11. It says, "The inward thought is that their house shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generation. They call the lands after their own names." Yeah, we know that is our practice. I saw Edom, right? We know that. Right? And not to mention, not just them, but as an ancient practice. Wherever it's a journey, name that place after yourself, and so on and so forth. America, all these places have certain names that show certain characteristics of who's really the heads of this world. Because the word America goes, when you like take a deep dive into the word America, you realize the word means bitter or bitterness. Alright, so that means ain't shit sweet. Alright. And this is the agenda that they're pushing onto the world. It's all of us to reach a little dot on the map in the Caribbean. Digital economy we talking about here now. What a time to be alive. Anyhow, it was informative, it was inspiring to the spirit and power of your Bashmir Shai Bashmir Kakodash. Until next time, Shalom.